Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a high of 71 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the south. Mostly clouds tonight, a gentle breeze and quite warm near 67. Partly cloudy and 73 tomorrow. 71 and a possibility of thunderstorms and light showers with a gentle breeze Thursday. Friday, some sun and a temperature the same at 71. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $41.99 a month. Cut the cord, not the fun. To get Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click the Lucid TV logo.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Would you like to receive money for your car that you don't need anymore? When you call the Sell Car US hotline right now, we'll come to your location. Within a matter of days, we'll offer you a fair price for your vehicle and we'll remove it for free. How great is that? You don't need to go anywhere. No people stopping by your house to look at your car, wasting your time on test drives. We come, we offer you a price, and pay you immediately. Call the Sell Car US hotline right now to arrange to have one of our representatives come right to your door and tell you how much your car is worth. Cars, trucks, vans, running or not, we'll make you a deal. Call this number right now.
800-609-2771. 800-609-2771. 800-609-2771. That's 800-609-2771.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
with the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 here in Panama City Beach, all of our beautiful surrounding areas. And of course, as always, if you're down there along the Forgotten Coast, you can listen to it on 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can also watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, follow all those wonderful things on our social channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also make your way to the Google Play or Apple Store and search up 104.3 and download our free mobile app. That way you can take us anywhere you want to go. You can also head over to ESPNPC.com. While you're there, you've got an opportunity to save some money on your streaming services as everybody seems to be going up. Lucid Streams TV right there on our homepage. You can click on the TV channel icon, sign up for a mere $41.99 a month. Over 2,000 streaming channels, including all the regional, local news channels, regional sports channels, local sports channels, pay-per-view events, all professional sports, and also 10,000 movies on demand. Again, that's Lucid Streams TV. You can find it on ESPNPC.com. I kind of forgot as I'm looking here on this TV, David, that the TGL happens again tonight. Just like that, it keeps coming.
Well, where's Jay when you need a preview, man?
I know. I don't know anything about it. I don't even watch it. I watched it last week. I'll give.
I did. I watched the full episode of it, and
yeah, meh.
It was meh is a good way to put it. I think that it's honestly, I think that it's really something that kind of takes away from golf because you're seeing all of these stars, right? But you're not seeing them on the PGA Tour, and you're not seeing them all on the LIV Tour either. Yeah. So it's one of those things that it brings another element to the game of golf, and it makes people feel solidified in the fact that, oh, we don't have time to go to a golf course, but we'll go play virtual golf.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you're seeing more and more of those franchises pop up all over the country. Speaking of popping up, I'm sure it was bouncing around social media a good bit. But one, you got Google Maps and you got Apple Maps, right? Apple Maps has not made the conversion yet. But if you go onto Google Maps and you zoom out.
We're doing kilometers?
No, it now says Gulf of America on the Google Maps. Pull up your, do you have Google Maps?
No, I use Apple Maps.
Apple Maps still says Gulf of Mexico.
Good, because that's what it's actually called.
Yeah, well.
Like a president, in my opinion, and I know that this is going to ruffle feathers, but a president shouldn't be able to come in and say, we're changing this. Like, dude,
well, I don't know who has jurisdiction over that anyway, but what are they going to change Mexico Beach to America Beach?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, and I think it's funny. I think it's, unique, and if, there's other jokes that go along with that particular goal of, what we could utilize. But I don't know. Again, that's getting me too far. But that's wild. That's wild.
Google Maps has officially put it as, because I saw somebody.
Is Google in cahoots with, what do you think made Google?
I have no idea. I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
For me, it's
because everybody was sharing it on their pages. They're like, look. Yeah. And I went to Apple Maps first because I typically use Apple Maps for like GPS directions and stuff like that. But and I saw that one said, I was like, all right, maybe it's just on Google. And I went over there to Google. I was like, whoop, there it is.
I think something like that should be put to a vote, right? But you would also have to include the votes of Mexicans, Cubans, which, we're going to outnumber them anyway. So it's more than likely what direction it's going to go is the right way. But I don't know. To me, it's kind of, it's just funny how people get so gung-ho about stuff like, look, we're going to change this to Gulf of America, but you're still going to be spending $10 on eggs.
Yeah,
okay, but Gulf of America, baby.
That egg thing is ridiculous.
Hey, bird flu is a real thing.
Yeah, it only touches chickens, though, apparently. It doesn't, we don't see any seagulls getting sick out there. We could use a couple less of those. But yeah, I just wanted to we haven't had any kind of wild talk yet so far here on the show, so wanted to start something off there on a little different side of things. We may have a caller, we may not. I'm going to dive into, do we have a caller on the line? All right, who do we got? Who do we got out there?
Old Travis.
Travis, long time no hear, man.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Oh, just hanging out. Me and David here in the studio, separated by a piece of glass. Feel like I'm in the clink, and David's visiting me. So, and here we are.
Jay's playing hooky.
Yeah, I guess he's out there trying to make that money.
Jay's busy.
Which is disappointing because Tuesdays is the Jay Hanley Golf Tip of the Week and the TGL preview. But we'll survive. We'll get through it. What do you got for us, Travis?
So a couple things. One thing, without getting political, I'll say that I think the Gulf of America change is good. And the reason why...
Oh, you have a reason.
I like it.
I do have a reason. we are a country. We are one of supposedly the most powerful country in the world. You know, we are the country everybody wants to go to. So we should have, you know, look at all the other countries that are taking over other countries like Russia with Ukraine. And
where's that Gulf of Russia at?
Right.
Well,
there's not one because it's like the Gulf of Gibraltar and stuff like that.
But we should have. It should be a power move. You know what I mean? Like we are the.
And I have no issue with that.
Echelon.
I just like poking pushing the buttons of everyone who's like all up in arms. Like, this is the big thing. Like, there is so much more going on. Like, in the reality of things, like, yes, we took that water and we renamed it. How about that?
Well, and I believe it borders the most of the United States of America.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into the factuality of it and all that. That's fun.
I just wanted to start with something non-sports. I feel like we haven't jumped into that side of thing in a while. So.
Yeah, and I'm all for it.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
I mean, is it a big thing? Not really. No, it's changing a name, but it just. I don't know how to explain it. I mean,
well, let me explain it to you like this. Does it change your day-to-day life? Really, does any of this outside of the prices that we're paying change your day-to-day life if you're swimming in the Gulf of Mexico or swimming in the Gulf of America?
Travis, perfect that you're on the line. Breaking news from ESPN.
No, he did not.
Saints are hiring Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore as their next head coach. What do you think about that, Travis?
Right on time.
There you go.
I like it. I like it because, I mean, I'm almost on the fence. I got to know what comes out of all this news with the Saints before I make a decision. But they have recently had some rumors come out that I cannot support. So I might be looking for a new team based off of, well, things they cover up.
Yeah. All right,
that
Jay.
are happening.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of that as well, but yeah.
I mean, when it comes to that is just where I got to draw the line. I don't care if I've been a fan. If Florida did it, I would have to say, nah. I might not even watch.
You got to stand on your stuff, and that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and just one of the more difficult situations to get into from a coaching standpoint, the salary cap, all those other things that everybody's been talking about. But looks like it is indeed official, and Kellen Moore, who's been an OC in the league for a while now, is that his first head
coaching gig? Yeah, because he was the OC over there, the Dallas Cowboys, for a good little while.
Yeah,
then
for a while.
First year over here with the Eagles, and I just think it's dumb. Like, and Travis, you might be excited about it. I really don't know, but I will say this: the Saints are in purgatory right now with the amount of money that they have to spend, and so Kellen Moore, who could really be a good head
he's
coach,
a great offensive
he
mind.
should have went the Ben Johnson route of, okay, look at what we're building here. Let me continue to and Kellen Moore, first year OC Eagles, you win the Super Bowl. Yeah. You could back-to-back that and instead take a head coaching job where you're not going to be $65 million in debt and work your way into. And now he could end up looking like a genius.
Yeah, it's just
figuring out a way. Exactly, it is going to be a very tough position there, and you don't even know what's next with Derek Carr.
Yeah,
you don't. Alvin Kamara's running out of gas.
What's next is the road.
Oh, okay, right.
That's what's next. He needs to, like, someone had posted on one of the groups that I'm in that says the Giants are interested in, possibly trading for Derek Carr, and I was like, does he need a ride?
I'm sure you and a lot of other Saints fans were thinking that same.
What is the opposite option? You're not going with Derek Carr, so are you going with Haener?
I honestly
got a lot
don't
of his
even care.
cards signed,
I mean,
if he does good, that'd be fantastic. Got a couple 101s, Jake Haeners.
It doesn't even matter to me as long
as y'all get the number one draft pick, huh?
Where are y'all in the draft? Top 5?
I
can't
don't
remember.
think so. I think last time we looked, we were like in the top 10, but we were either 9 or 10.
Quarterback
I could be
class
wrong.
this year is just not that great, and they'll probably go quicker.
But
than
I mean, Derek Carr, this is the reason why I don't really care who's the quarterback as long as it's not Derek Carr. It's because we're wasting our time on a veteran that will never be any good. He won't be. Like, he'll play a couple good games, get hurt, and that's it. You know, and that's what he's done in the past 2 years now. He's been all right. You know, last year he started, this year I guess you could say, started great, and then, like, just fell off and then got injured when it got rough. So, and
he got injured when it got rough, when the goal gets
and all the quarterbacks that they had, because their offensive line was such trash, were, I mean, look at what Spencer Rattler, he didn't have time to throw the ball. Jake Haener didn't have time to throw the ball. So, obviously, you know, we saw that in the Super Bowl. We talked about it ad nauseum yesterday, that you win championships with your offensive and defensive line. So, I think hopefully the Saints maybe can focus on that, find a quarterback. I don't know.
And if you didn't think that was the truth, look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, 100%. That's true. Proof in the pudding. One more quick funny thing about the Gulf of America. You know, it would really piss a lot of people off if we changed it to the Ocean of America.
Well, that's kind of exactly where I was going to start going. Is like half the time people don't even call it the Gulf. And then we got a text in from Dustin. He says, fun talk this morning already with Gulf of America. It is funny that this is one of their focuses, considering we people today don't even call it the right name. Can't tell you how many times I hear the Gulf called an ocean. Yeah. Great job, guys. Keep it up.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
it's
then
like
somebody gets crucified for calling it the ocean.
Yeah.
It's connected to the ocean. Right? They're all connected.
I mean, at the end of the day,
you can hop on a boat and go to any of them you want.
Boom.
It just take you a while.
It's a large body of water.
It is.
Like,
it is what,
the difference in a
76% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, I believe.
Something like
along
that.
Those lines. It's over 70, I believe. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Travis.
But back to what David was saying on the whole hiring thing. The reality of it is the Saints had to get a coach, but I
feel like you're actually pretty lucky to get Kellen Moore too. I thought he was going to stay after they won. I really did. Sirianni seemed like he was really trying to keep him there, because obviously he's been losing coordinators after each year. But
each and every year, and they somehow find a way to have really good seasons in between, which kind of goes to show how good of a head coach, a good of a CEO, if you will, Nick Sirianni has been in his time there. And back to the Gulf of America, since we're talking about things that don't necessarily matter with the Saints, just messing with you, Travis. We got someone texted in and said, I heard that they renamed it to the Gulf of America because Joe Biden getting executive ordered where you couldn't drill in the Gulf of Mexico, so just rename it to Gulf of America and drill, baby, drill. Is that like a thing? Like, you change the name of it, like you can start drilling?
I do know that because I was at one of the EDA meetings a couple weeks ago, and like Berg Pipe is very, very excited because they're going to be.
Both of my cousins work there.
Yeah, and they were just purchased not that long ago by a huge global company, so they're going to be one of the only places that's producing pipes for these for the underground or the underwater pipelines. And then, of course, if they get that Keystone up and running again, obviously that'll help lower some of those gas prices. But
and again, man, for me, I'm not on any type of side. I just like to make fun of it all. So,
I just want to pay less in taxes and less on stuff. That's all.
Yeah, no doubt.
No taxes at all.
I
would be
don't care
great.
who's sitting in that that White House, as long as I get more money in my paycheck, less money at the grocery store, and less money at the gas pumps. Apart from that, I could have a monkey in there, and I still wouldn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not.
No doubt. I think that's kind of I think that's kind of how we ended up where we are now. Is just people want to stop getting taken advantage of by our own people. So anyway.
Back
to your Saints, Travis.
Well, not even on that.
Oh, wow, we're going to go a different direction here. Different than the Saints or the Gators, or no?
Different from both.
Wow.
Actually, a totally different sport.
All right.
We're talking wrestling. Let's go.
As a person that has always turned the channel when people talk about pickleball,
you've started it, haven't you?
You had fun, didn't you?
I have now. I did. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Especially if you're a competitive person, like pickleball is a fantastic game. The only thing is that there really has to be age divisions in like pickleball. Because like your common pickleballers are your snowbirds, your senior citizens, and like if we were to go out there and play with them, it would be Be a lot faster on one side of the court than the other, and I'm not ageism. I'm just telling like it is. But go ahead, Travis. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. You're good. So I played with a little bit of I played at the church that I go to, but it's when there was a little bit of an age range there. A lot of them were probably mid age, probably 40s, 50s, somewhere around in there. There was one that was a D1 college athlete, so she was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and I was decent at it as soon as I figured out the rules. The figuring out the rules was a little hard.
Yep.
Difficult.
Because it's not the same as tennis, and it's not the same as table tennis, but a kind of a variation of both there. Did you play doubles?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, doubles.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, it was a blast though, and I'm actually going again this Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. And it's it's good exercise too. It's good exercise.
Oh yeah. I hurt the next day.
Yeah.
I was hurting.
I understand.
But it's fun, and I didn't think it. I mean, I thought that it could be fun, but it was like I had heard a lot that it was for older people, and I was like, man, I don't want to just stand around and hit a ball back and forth. But you
have to have an American citizenship now to swim in the Gulf of America.
True story.
Is that right?
No, it's not right. It's about the same way as people telling you that only old people can play pickleball. That was where the joke lied right there.
Oh, okay. Well,
but no, I'm glad that you played, man. And I appreciate the invitation to come play with you. And luckily, I did not tell you yes because I was actually getting a flat tire taken care of right around those times. So I would have been like,
I got the invite too, but I was up there in Atlanta sitting in a tube. So that was a good time.
Both of y'all are invited this Saturday too.
All right. Where are you playing?
Know what y'all's plans are. Lighthouse Church.
Okay. Right there, right next to Frank Nelson.
Yeah.
Oh, they play in the gym there?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, they play inside.
That's where the UA volleyball team practices sometimes.
Really?
When First United is not available. Yeah.
Yeah, they do have a little volleyball. The volleyball court goes that way. And then the basketball
it's
goal.
not full size
Regulation?
by
Gotcha.
any means, but when you're just looking for a little place to practice, it certainly helps. Certainly helps. Travis, what do you think about your Gators basketball team? They've beaten 2 number 1 teams in the country so far this season, but man, the SEC is just so tough when it comes to college basketball this year on the men's side, women's side too. But.
As good as they're doing, I have watched one half of a game.
You live in the football world, huh?
Yeah, football and baseball. I like college baseball.
Yeah, college baseball is so much fun.
Even that, I don't watch it all the time because it feels like such a long season, and it's like, man, I just start getting bored with watching it.
Well, once
Usually
it gets to the postseason and the tournaments and all that, then it starts getting pretty exciting. But
I usually tune in on the postseason.
There you go. I know you can watch most of those college baseball games right there on Lucid Streams TV, which I believe you are a subscriber, Travis.
I am. I had to cut it out for a little bit, but I'm coming back.
There you go.
I'm coming back.
A lot of people making moves
coming home
because everything else, YouTube's up, Hulu's up, Netflix is about to go up. Just seems like they're all trying to. They're like, oh, they
Netflix
did it.
Is going up again?
Yeah, I believe so. Don't quote me on that. I thought I saw an email.
$22.
Netflix is $22 a month right now.
For the 4K, like the highest one you can have, where 4 people can watch it, it's $22.96, I think, a month.
Dog.
Yes, Netflix is increasing pricings on all 3 plans starting back in January, so likely already increased. The last time they did it, the premium tier, which is the one you're talking about, is now going to $24.99 a month, Travis. So for only what? 42, 24,
about
$18 more a
yeah.
month. You can do Lucid Streams TV. So the standard tier is going up from $15.49 to $17.99. But anyway, we got to take a quick break, Travis. We got to get Doc A on the line. Good to hear from you, and keep us posted on the pickleball side of things.
Absolutely, but I won't have to keep y'all posted if y'all show up.
That's true. That's true. But I don't know what time yet. I might bring a little blonde kid, too, as he loves some pickleball.
Hey, that's fine. Bring them on. We gotta. It's a small group that we do, but I can tell them I'm bringing friends. So
cool. Well, keep me posted. Let me know, and we'll see if we can make something happen.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys listen to the Inside Drive. We got Doc A coming up next, and there's lots to talk about as all these big trades that have transpired, all these players are playing on their new teams. You guys listen to the Inside Drive. Steve Alexander coming up next.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the home. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a high of 71 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the south. Mostly clouds tonight, a gentle breeze and quite warm near 67. Partly cloudy and 73 tomorrow. 71 and a possibility of thunderstorms and light showers with a gentle breeze Thursday. Friday, some sun and a temperature the same at 71. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Roses are red, violets are blue, your sweetie deserves a new shed, and only Best Way will do. Owner Jason Mulder will help you select just the right shed and custom build on your lot. This Valentine's Day, think outside the box. Think Best Way Portable Buildings just north of the old Panama City Mall on Highway 231. And say hello to Best Way Buddy on your visit. The friendliest pooch in all of Bay County. Right, buddy? Right. It's Best Way Portable Buildings.
Bringing you the world's #1 auto brand is a lot of fun. Camrys and Tacomas, Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders. Toyotas are just built to be better.
And that's exactly how we built Panama City Toyota, to give you a better experience.
Where your needs always come first. Where you can relax with a great cup of coffee or browse the Heritage Collection. Or we help you add the perfect vehicle to your collection. Come see us today at Panama City Toyota.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. And now,
Doctor, my eyes.
Doc A joins the Inside Drive. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Talk to your doctor before use.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to listen to the Inside Drive live here on Tuesday morning. And that means one thing in our 11:20 segment. We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend. That is Steve Alexander, but we call him Doc A. He's an NBA fantasy writer. He's in the NBA Fantasy Writers Hall of Fame. He's also a self-proclaimed Golden Tee enthusiast and currently on Sports Ethos doing podcasts daily after all the NBA action wraps up. Doc, how are you doing on this Tuesday morning or afternoon for you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. First, we'll start with a non-basketball sport. What did you think of the Super Bowl?
I think I told you guys I wasn't even going to watch it.
You did. That's right. I remember that.
It was on at the House of Golden Tee where I was playing.
The HOGT.
And so I watched it, and I mean, I may have had a few wagers out there, and I had the Eagles, but I also had a Patrick Mahomes rushing touchdown in the parlay, and it did not happen. But I was happy the Eagles won. I just didn't think the Chiefs could pull off winning 3 in a row. So I went with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think a lot of people certainly thought that as well. But it's just tough to make it to the Super Bowl in general. But just further proving that your offensive and defensive lines are what you should build around when it comes to a successful NFL franchise. All those Georgia.
And it was interesting that it was so heavily watched. The most watched of all time, and it wasn't even really a game. It was over at halftime.
Absolutely. It was got out of hand quick, which was surprising to a lot of people. I think a lot of people hung in there, too, maybe a little bit longer because of the history of the Chiefs and always getting down by 10 or whatever and coming back and winning. But they just couldn't. 36 yards of total offense in the first half. It was pretty wild to believe.
I saw Jerome Bettis, the bus, yesterday. He was on TV, and he was like, well, we all saw Atlanta blow a 28-3 lead, so I think everybody hung in there until they were down by more than 20.
More than 20, yeah, that was the
25.
The 25 magic number. Yep, they're not. Once they threw that deep touchdown pass, I believe that was to Devonta Smith to go up. I want to say 34-0 at the time. I think everybody's like, all right, this thing was pretty much over. All right, let's talk about your world. And obviously, there's been a lot of big trades last week leading up to the trade deadline. But how have the big name trades, the Lucas, the Foxes, the Butlers, worked out for their new, and the Anthony Davises worked out for their new teams thus far?
Well, the Luka trade that was no big deal is literally about ready to burn down the city of Dallas.
They lost a million followers or something like that on social media?
Well, that was last week. Now, let's just check in with everybody. Dirk Nowitzki, who has a statue in front of the Dallas arena,
the German,
was in Los Angeles wearing a Lakers shirt watching. I don't know if he's wearing a Lakers shirt, but he was there to support Luka last night.
Interesting.
The GM, Nico, has hired a security team to protect him. The owner is probably doing the same after he was basically booed out of the stadium last night. They ejected countless number of fans who are either saying or chanting "Fire Nico" and holding up signs. Anthony Davis, who was injured when they made the trade, then they rushed him back to try to cure some of this ill will between fans and the team because it's totally toxic now. So they rushed him back early, and now I think he's done for the season.
Yeah, it's out indefinitely, right? With a knee injury, I believe?
No, it's a adductor. It's like a groin, stomach, core thing.
Yep.
It's not good.
No.
Especially for a guy like Anthony Davis who has a history of missing tons of games. It's just been just like I thought it would be. Like in my opinion, there's 5 players in history that you could not trade. Like the Hawks traded Dominique Wilkins, nobody really cared. The Pacers could have traded Reggie Miller. He played there his whole career. People would have been upset, but they're not going to boycott, freak out, get arrested. Nothing bad can happen. The Magic 5 are Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, the other one, Larry, Michael, and Magic, and then Victor Wembanyama and Luka Doncic. Those are the 5 where if you trade them in their prime, fans are going to riot. Everybody else LeBron's been traded. AD's been traded.
JD's been
SGA
traded.
has been traded. You can't trade. And Luka wasn't just good at basketball and terrible at defense. He was universally loved by that city. They loved him so much. And you're seeing how heartbroken they are and how devastated they are.
Really,
and that arena is going to be empty the rest of the year. So that's how that one's working out.
So does Mark Cuban not really have any power when it comes to the players and stuff like that? Because you would think he would have been able to see this coming and had some say in it, but it doesn't seem like he was involved in it at all.
Nope, he didn't find out until it was done. And the only 2 people I think that knew are Nico, the GM, who for some reason has a vendetta against Luka Doncic and just wanted him to get him out of his city. And the owner that looks like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great reference. I heard something. I don't know where it is. I think it's in a text with some people, but I saw that Luka was involved with somebody's girlfriend or something like that. Did you hear anything about that?
I think I mentioned that last week. Like, that's my theory. Like,
okay, yeah.
When stuff like this happens, there's usually a woman involved. And I'm not saying there was a romantic relationship. I just don't. I had heard rumblings that there was jealousy about how much she loved Luka. And I also think he just didn't like the fact he doesn't play defense. But man, the LA Lakers strike again. They're so happy right now. Those people watching that game last night was pretty fun. And LA's announcer was interesting. He's like, and starting at guard, number 77, Luka Doncic. And it was like, come on, bro, have a little enthusiasm.
Yeah, they announced him first, I believe.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Huh?
They announced him first in the starting lineup when the game introductions. He was the first one to be announced.
No, he was last.
Oh, he was
LeBron
last? I thought I read he was the first. Huh? Maybe I'm.
No, LeBron let him go
Actually
last.
tuned
but
in
then
to the
LeBron's going to be last.
Yeah, that's right. LeBron. Yeah, no doubt. But
the other trades, I think it's safe to say, not that many people are that fired up about. I mean, the weird one with the Lakers trading Dalton Knecht to get Mark Williams, and then Mark Williams supposedly failed his physical, and now he doesn't want to go back to Charlotte, and Dalton Knecht doesn't want to go back to the Lakers. Like, that's a disaster. And then Jimmy Butler is in Golden State, and Steph Curry looks better. The team looks better. They look happier. So that was probably a good move for them. They need to do something.
Yeah, no doubt. And De'Aaron Fox, how is it going with Wemby so far?
Last night was last night was De'Aaron Fox's coming out party. Like, him and Wemby both went nuts, and that looks like a match made in heaven to me. I think that if they can sign Fox and keep him there, they're going to win championships.
Yeah, they'll be kind of set for a little while there. All right, let's see. All right, I know you don't care about the All-Star games and aren't going to watch them, but I just wanted to get your opinion on if you think anybody now the All-Star voting in NBA, is that fan and somebody else, or is it purely fan? Do you know?
It's so messed up now, dude. There's like 4 teams. I mean, I honestly don't even fully understand it. A lot of it's fan, and then I think the coaches pick the replacements.
And then I think they got the Rising Stars, who they form a team out of that one too and throw them in there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I really check out for the entire All-Star break. But Trae Young and Kyrie Irving are both on the All-Star team now because Giannis and Anthony Davis are out.
Yes, they're injured. Yeah, the Team Shaq, which is an interesting one, is LeBron, Steph. Like you said, Anthony Davis was on there, but he's out. And then Jason Tatum, KD, Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, and then Kyrie Irving, who is that replacement in there as well. That team will be coached by Shaquille O'Neal. Team Kenny is Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, he's a starter, all-star starter, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, and Tyler Hero. They'll all be reporting to Kenny Smith. It says will serve as the team's GM. So I don't really understand how all that works. And then Charles Barkley, Team Chuck, is Nikola Jokic. Like you said, he has replaced. No, he hasn't replaced anybody. Giannis is the one that's injured and would be replaced. Yeah. And then SGA is also going to be a starter. Victor Wembanyama is in there. Pascal Siakam, Alperen Sengun, if I pronounced that correctly. Karl Anthony Towns was also voted an all-star starter. Donovan Mitchell a starter. And then Trae Young, like you mentioned, from the Hawks will be an injury replacement for Giannis. And then Charles Barkley will be the head or the team's general manager for that one. And then Team Candace will serve as the team's general manager. Team Candace will be the winning team from the Castrol Rising Stars. So that's your fourth team, will be whichever team wins.
Okay.
And they will probably get absolutely smoked by the NBA team that is in there. But who knows? Who knows?
That all sounds good on paper. Like those players are all great. And, I watch them every day. And it should be a fun weekend and a fun basketball to watch. But they all go out there and just goof around so much and just try to do silly stuff. It's just hard to watch, but maybe it'll be better this year. Maybe having three teams and some of those guys aren't messing around. SGA and the Thunder, man, they're blowing people out, and I'm glad I picked them to win it all this year because I don't think anybody beat them.
Okay. Sorry. Still fighting this stupid tickle cough in my chest. Feels like it's been months at this point. But so Doc, All-Star break, the proverbial halfway point through the season. You just mentioned the OKC Thunder. Any teams you expect to make some big moves? Try to move up the standings here in the second half of the season.
I mean, the Sixers. It's now or never for them. Paul George has been terrible. Joel Embiid's been out again. They're not doing well in the standings. They need to make a push, and they need to do it fast, or they're going to be on the outside looking in. Who else? The Nuggets. I'd like to think they would like to try to catch Oklahoma City, or at least put some fear into Oklahoma City, but I just don't see that happening.
It's crazy that they have an 8-game lead over second place Memphis and then a 9-game lead over third place Nuggets. That's wild how well that they've been playing this year. And then of course you got the Cavaliers on the Eastern Conference side of things. Boston Celtics not too far off, 5.5 games, followed by the Knicks, the Pacers, the Bucks, the Pistons, all in those guaranteed spots. And then you got several teams, like you said, the Sixers are just on the outside, looking in that 10th and final play-in game spot. But
and I don't think it's going to happen, but I would not be surprised if Boston catches Cleveland.
Yeah,
I just feel like Cleveland has played over their heads for most of the season.
Kind of like we're sitting and waiting for it to kind of come to an end, kind of thing, because it's just kind of one of those things we didn't expect. Yeah, makes sense. All right, Doc, we got to get to that. Your game picking against the spread. Last week you were 3 for 3, and I believe one of those games you missed by a half a point. A little bad beat there, but only 4 games on tonight. We'll start with the Raptors at the 76ers. Those 76ers giving up 8.5 at home.
I don't think Embiid's going to play. I'm going to go Raptors. I think every time I pick 4 or against Philly, I lose. So I don't know. I'm going to go Raptors.
All right. Raptors. And they're getting 8.5. So, that's a pretty big number when it comes to that. Knicks at the Pacers. Pacers getting 2.5 at home.
Oh, it's up to 2.5 now? That must mean Miles Turner's not playing. It was 1.5 last night. I'm going to go Pacers at home.
All right. And then the Pistons at the Bulls. The Bulls are getting 4.5 at home.
That seems weird, right? Like the Pistons used to be so bad, but they're good now. The Pistons might make the playoffs, which would be pretty impressive. I'm going to go Bulls at home.
All right, Bulls with the points at home. Last but not least, the Grizzlies at the Suns. The Suns are getting 4.5 on their home court.
I'm going to take the other home dog. All these home dogs. I think you gotta take it.
Hey, sometimes home dogs, especially in the NFL side of things, work out pretty well. All right, Doc, that brings us to the end of this segment. I appreciate you jumping on with us as always. obviously, you know, if you do watch a little bit of that All-Star game, hopefully enjoy it. Hopefully it's fun, entertaining, and competitive, but time will certainly tell. We appreciate your time as always and look forward to talking to you, hopefully with Jay next week.
All right, if you're in a basketball league, pick up Aaron Wiggins of OKC. He's on fire. All right, I'll see you guys Tuesday.
There you go. Aaron Wiggins of OKC, if you're looking to add, and he is still available in your league. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. It is Tuesday, and we'll be right back.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The number one Auburn Tigers 14-game winning streak came to an end last week, but they're ready to start a new one. Tonight, the Auburn Tigers are in Nashville to face conference foes, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Tip-off coming up at 6 right here on your home for college basketball and the Auburn Tigers.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle. Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes. So it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. Listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. If you didn't hear Doc A at the end of that segment, he said if you need an addition for your NBA fantasy team, go out there and pick up Andrew Wiggins if he is still available in your said league. All right, jumping back to the Super Bowl, record number of viewers, third straight year in a row. Are we surprised? No, because that's kind of what the Super Bowl does. Continues to have more and more every year. But 126 million viewers was the projected average audience for Super Bowl 59 across Fox, Fox Deportes, Tubi, Telemundo, and NFL digital properties. It's a new record high viewership for the Super Bowl. They had a 135.7 million viewers. That was their peak audience in the second quarter of the Eagles' 40-22 win. Obviously, that's when the game, I believe, was still within 10. I don't think it was at 17 at that point, but still within 10. So a lot of people obviously tuning in. The Super Bowl also drew in a record high streaming viewership, including 13.6 million viewers watching on Tubi, according to Fox Sports. By the time viewership reportedly peaked on Sunday, the result of the Super Bowl had already all but been decided. The Eagles pulled out to a 24-0 lead through two quarters and were leading by 34 points before the Chiefs finally scored late in the third quarter. Struggles against the Eagles defense didn't stop the Chiefs from making history. Kansas City's appearance in the last three Super Bowls reportedly coincided with three 3 separate viewership records. The Eagles and Chiefs' last matchup in Super Bowl 57 attracted an average of 115.1 million viewers to Fox Sports broadcasts in February 2023, according to Nielsen and ESPN. That stood at the time as the most watched U.S.-based telecast in history, per ESPN. The Chiefs matchup with the San Francisco 49ers in last year's Super Bowl 58 set another record with 123.4 million average viewers across platforms, including CBS, Paramount Plus, again, according to Nielsen and the NFL. And then, of course, now the record has been reportedly broken for the third straight year. Prior to the Chiefs' run, the Super Bowl viewership record had been set in 2015 by the average of 114.4 million people watching Tom Brady and the New York Patriots defeat the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl, looks like 54, if I'm not mistaken. No, that would have been 49, XLIX, 49, yes. NBC has the rights to 3 upcoming Super Bowls, including Super Bowl 60. The championship game for the 2025 season is set to take place at the home of the San Francisco 49ers in Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. California is one of 11 states in the country that does not have a legal betting system.
Wait, what state is that?
California.
They're what? They don't have a legal...
One of 11 that can't bet on sports legally.
That doesn't even make sense.
Which is crazy, because like when you go to Lake Tahoe, when you're on the Nevada side, there's like a bunch of casinos literally right there, and then you could literally step a big giant step, and you wouldn't be able to legally gamble anymore. Kind of crazy.
That is
kind of crazy.
That's absolutely wild.
Yes, but so next year's Super Bowl, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of next year's Super Bowl, currently from FanDuel's odds, a little different than the ones we talked about yesterday from DraftKings, got Kansas City at plus 600, 6-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Eagles 7-1, the Ravens 7-1, the Bills 8-1, the Lions 9-1, and the San Francisco 49ers at 14-1, which seems like decent value, but I don't know if anybody's ever... Now, the Bucs won a Super Bowl in their home stadium, right? When Brady won his last one. That was down there at Raymond James, I think.
I believe that one was there.
Yeah.
And then the Rams did it the next year, I believe.
That's SoFi.
Yeah.
Yep. Packers 18-1, Bengals 19-1. It stretches all the way down to the New York Football Giants at plus 400-1, with the Raiders having the second worst odds. The Titans follow them, the Patriots, the Panthers, the Browns, the Jets, and then the Steelers, believe it or not, are in the definitely in the middle of the bottom half of the odds to win the Super Bowl next year. I will say the Washington Commanders at 23-1 doesn't seem like a bad bet. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about some of the Super Bowl prop bets and if they came to fruition or not. Obviously, the point spread was a mere 1.5 points at closing time. And so if you bet the Eagles plus 1.5 and bet the Eagles on the money line, you would have cashed both of those. The game total was 48.5. Obviously, that hit the over handedly with 62 total points being scored, most of those coming in the last few minutes or last, quarter of the game, with the Chiefs actually making some stuff happen once the Eagles put in several backups and all that good stuff. And it's kind of funny to see in a Super Bowl, you saw Kenny Pickett and Kenneth Gainwell coming in kind of at the end of the game there. You just don't see that kind of stuff very often in the Super Bowl. Which player will score the first touchdown? It was Jalen Hurts. He was plus 600 to score the first touchdown. MVP, also Jalen Hurts.
Thanks to Jahan Dotson not getting into the end zone.
Yeah, no, exactly, because I don't think a lot of people probably had old Jahan Dotson, former Washington Commander. I think he was on it when he was the Washington football team. Anytime touchdown, you had Jalen Hurts minus 115, A.J. Brown was plus 185, and Devontae Smith was plus 230. Those are all for the Eagles. And then for the Chiefs, you had Xavier Worthy at plus 150, DeAndre Hopkins, pretty good value there, plus 650 if you had him had an anytime touchdown. The coin toss, heads heads or tails. I think it's usually minus 110 either way, as it is a statistical probability of being an exact opportunity to have one or the other. Ended up being tails, as tails seems to never fail. So if you bet the coin toss and you bet tails, you would have won that one. Which player will score the last touchdown? That went to Xavier Worthy. Jalen Hurts' passing yard prop was 210.5. He ended up with 221. A lot of people, if they bet Patrick Mahomes' passing prop, they were probably sweating that for a while, as it was at 251.5. And he actually ended up going over because of all those plays in the late third quarter and fourth quarter. Rushing yards prop, a lot of people probably took the over on this one. Saquon Barkley was at 110.5. Obviously, that was the under, as he only had 57 rushing yards. He did add, I believe, 50 or maybe 60 yards in the air receiving. So he did have over 100 yards from scrimmage when it all was said and done. But if you bet that rushing prop, which a lot of people probably did, he did not even come close. But that's kind of been the Chiefs' thing most of the year from the rushing standpoint. I think they were third best in the league against the rush. Rushing yards, Jalen Hurts was 37.5. He had 72. So the over
Super Bowl record.
Super Bowl record for a quarterback, right? Yeah.
Which broke his previous record
from 2
of
years
like
ago.
70 yards.
Yeah. So maybe you jumped on that one, and that would have paid. It doesn't say what the odds were on that one, but I'm sure it was probably split one way or the other, minus 110 or something like that. Rushing yards for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. Neither one of them really.
No, not even
Kareem
close.
Hunt just had one carry, right? I think they only had what was it?
They only had, seven or, we said it yesterday, 7 or 8
6
carries?
maybe.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything. And again, they got down early after the pick six there to Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
That's where the whole game just got. I was actually watching the replay of it. I had Raw on one TV, and then I had, which I'm watching a lot more wrestling lately. I don't know why.
Oh, you're like a wrestler now.
No,
so.
I wouldn't say that at all. I would say that's kind of disrespectful to the guys who are in the ring.
You're in there. You were sore. I mean, that's all part of being a wrestler.
Right, but
you just need a name.
It had Diamond Cutter Dave. That's what Jack Patterson called me.
Nice.
They had to get away from the run game. Then they tried to get back into it later, but by that time it was too late. And the Eagles defense was just ready. It's like you're either throwing it to Xavier Worthy or you're throwing it to Travis Kelce. One reception, I think, 2 targets at least for DeAndre Hopkins. And when you can minimize that and focus on who it is you got to focus on, and they're not running the ball very well, that was advantageous for the Eagles.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, Isaiah Pacheco had 7 total yards, so his rushing yard prop was 22.5, so that was under. Kareem Hunt had 9, his was 44.5, and then Patrick Mahomes was 27.5. He ended up with just 25, so he was under as well. And Xavier Worthy, his rushing prop, as he does some end arounds and stuff like that, some reverses, some jet sweeps, was at 5.5, and he had 0 rushing attempts. Obviously, he had a monster game in the air. Rushing attempts for Patrick Mahomes was 5.5. He only had 4, so that under hit. Receiving yards for A.J. Brown were at 70.5. He had 43, so that was the under. Receiving yards for Devonta Smith was 51.5. He had 69 total, so that hit the over as well. Dallas Goedert had 52.5 as his receiving yard prop. He only had 27, so the under hit in that one as well. That kind of tells the story of how the game went with the total yards there. Obviously, Philly's defense played fantastic, and Jalen Hurts ran the ball a bunch. And then Xavier Worthy was at 54.5, and the rookie had 157 total yards, including 2 touchdowns in the air. Again, a lot of that late in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter when the game was pretty much out of hand at that time. But that's one of the most fun things about if you're a gambler and into doing that, is all the different props you can find in the Super Bowl, which are way more than a normal NFL game when it comes to that side of things. That is for sure. A couple more fun facts from the Super Bowl. Let's see. Eagles wide receiver Devonta Smith became the 5th player in history to win the Heisman Trophy, National Championship, and Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He joined the likes of Marcus Allen, Tony Dorsett, Reggie Bush, and Charles Woodson.
Yeah, cool stuff. And he was also the first Alabama player to ever score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Or drafted out of Alabama.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to hold on to Jalen Hurts, and that's fine. He claims Alabama and Oklahoma. I like to call him an Alahoma.
Yeah. Oklahoma-Bama.
But, because Alabama came first, so
that makes
Alahoma,
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. Easier to say, too.
Yeah, that's also true. But no, that was really cool, and for A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith to be able to get a touchdown in that Super Bowl, the only thing, I think the only people who were excited about that Super Bowl, the way that it played out, were Eagles fans. Because all of us on the
if you're a
outside
fan of that team, you're like, keep pouring it on, keep pouring it on. And to be honest, as a Niner fan, I kind of was like, keep pouring it on as well.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's a good point, too. I think, so maybe a lot of America was glad that they were getting their teeth kicked in, if you will. Yeah. Me personally, I would have liked to have been able to, hey, I want to keep my eyes open.
Yeah, better, a more entertaining game, so to speak. If you look back to the Carson Wentz trade that the Eagles made when he went to the Indianapolis, he was traded for picks. With those draft picks, the Eagles were able to get Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and Cooper DeJean. So, taking Wentz and being able to get those picks from him certainly bolstered the Eagles team because both of those receivers, obviously, as David mentioned, both had touchdown catches. And then, of course, Jalen Carter is a monster on the defensive line. And then Cooper DeJean had an amazing pick six on his birthday, the young 22-year-old rookie.
And Saquon did not get a touchdown on his birthday.
Which a lot of people, including myself, did the Saquon. I did the Saquon 2-touchdown prop, but it's okay because there were some other ones in there too.
Yeah,
and the fourth quarter got the scoreboard too. That made up for some other things. But yeah, so Super Bowl is in the history books now, and everybody's getting ready for the 2024 season. As we broke it earlier, Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is now going to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. So fresh off his Super Bowl victory, I know Nick Sirianni did not want to let him go, sometimes you see an opportunity. You hope he doesn't go there, and then it kind of sets him back a little bit. You see him, you see several guys try to be a head coach for the first time. It's just not their cup of tea, and they end up jumping back into that coordinator position. And we'll see if Kellen Moore can deal with that challenging situation there in New Orleans with the salary cap and the debt that they currently have. But hey, each year they keep increasing that salary cap. And is there luxury tax in football? Or is that just a baseball thing?
I think that's a baseball thing because you have the salary cap.
Yeah, gotcha. So there's no salary cap in baseball. You just, if you go over a certain amount, you have to pay luxury tax.
That's why a lot of people are complaining this year because, what the Dodgers are doing. But it's also one of those things, hey, your owner's got money too. They just don't want to spend it.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll have time to jump into our Afternoon Delight debrief. Talk a little bit later on about some college basketball. We've got several college basketball games coming up tonight, including your Auburn Tigers. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. We're back! On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog.
Hello.
The only live afternoon show in Panama City where you can win fantastic prizes from amazing local businesses every day.
That's right.
4 to 6 weekdays. The Afternoon Underdogs.
It's mayhem.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a high of 71 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the south. Mostly clouds tonight, a gentle breeze and quite warm near 67. Partly cloudy and 73 tomorrow. 71 and a possibility of thunderstorms and light showers with a gentle breeze Thursday. Friday, some sun and a temperature the same at 71. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
WGSX Lynn WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Spreads, picks, and parlays. Get the breaking news, insider angles, and expertise so you can run your game.
I told y'all to run that.
And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, and follow. That is our 3 social channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We are live streaming every day, Monday through Friday. The Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9, Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and then, of course, the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m., rounding out your day of local and live shows. Of course, we've got our national shows before and in between and after, so make sure you keep the dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. If you don't have the dial in front of you, but you still want to listen, and you don't have social media in front of you either, you can also download our free mobile app. Just head over to the Google Play or Apple Store and search up 104.3. You'll see it come up. Download it, open that app up. You'll hear our live streaming right on that app. And, of course, you can head over to ESPNPC.com. You can always click listen live there. But while you're there, if you're looking to save some money on all these expensive streaming services, like we went from cable, which cable was getting expensive, and then we switch over to streaming because it's less expensive. Now streaming's getting more and more expensive, and you got to get multiple ones. Well, Lucid Streams TV, if you follow the TV channel icon there on our homepage at ESPNPC.com, for a mere $41.99 a month, you get over 2,000 channels streaming on demand. That includes local news, local sports, all the pay-per-view events, all the professional sports events, all the college events, whatever you could possibly want to watch is right there on Lucid Streams TV. And of course, if you're looking to watch some movies as well, over 10,000 movies on demand. It also includes all those movie channels as well. Starz, Showtime, HBO, Cinemax, whatever it may be, it is on Lucid Streams TV. Also going to give a shout out to our studio sponsor. That is Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They're located right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Tons of beautiful vehicles in stock, trucks, cars, SUVs, electric vehicles, whatever you could possibly want. It's right there at Bill Kramer GM. They've got great salespeople all over the lot to get you into what you are looking for. And of course, if you're looking for your tax write-off, if you own your own business and you want to find a 6,000-pound or more vehicle, they'll help you find those right there on the lot, as they do indeed have them. A little windier out there. Got some potential weather in the forecast over the next couple days, but if you need to get your boat back out on the water, or if you just need the annual service, as springtime is literally on our doorstep, as my car is going from black to yellow as that pollen's starting to try to come out, and I think we can all feel that. But again, that's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They'll come to you to get you back out on the water, or you can bring your boat into the dealership as well. If you're looking to buy a new or used boat, they sell the CRI family of boats. That's Spider, Seabourn, Sundance, and
Skeeter.
You can check out all that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. Again, right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. All right, I'm going to dive into some afternoon delight debriefs. We'll see where it takes us. There's some that are interesting and maybe some that aren't. Some of them are sports related, but I can't help that. I don't have Jay here to bring up something crazy like, relationships with people and dolphins. I don't know where he finds that stuff, but he seems to keep finding it. But back on February 3rd, and y'all have already probably heard this, but umpire Pat Hoiberg had been fired by the MLB after investigation showed he shared a sports betting account with a friend who bet on baseball. The story continued to go on and say they had shared a login and password, so it wasn't possible to differentiate who made the bets. Plus, MLB's investigation, Hoiberg deleted the messages between he and his friend where they discussed which bets they wanted the other to place for them, which they were not able to make bets themselves. So he'll have a chance to obviously try to reapply to be a MLB umpire after a year. But what do you think about that, David? It's just another gambling.
Well, he's not necessarily gambling. He was friends with a guy who gambled, and he did gamble on a few of the games that Hoiberg was involved in, but there was never any winnings involved for the guy. It's one, and he'll be able to reapply or apply for reinstatement not too long in the future. It's one of those things where the MLB just has to watch their nose, especially with the whole situation with Shohei and Izzy. Who just got sentenced to like 50-something months as well.
Yep, absolutely. Now, was Hoiberg one of the better umpires in the league?
One of the best. In fact, had 100% call rate in one of the World Series games. Balls and strikes, anyways, as far as that goes. So, yeah, he is actually a really good umpire. And it just is kind of hilarious how, not hilarious because, again, if you're tied to gambling, you're going to get caught up in it. They're going to find you, especially with just where we're at in the world of sports gambling. But, a guy like Angel Hernandez and some of these other umpires who have really bad balls and strikes compared to what the average should be, and they get to keep on moseying through, and then this guy gets attached to someone else and is taken down rather swiftly.
Yeah, and that's obviously will be interesting to see how that affects the umpiring, as there's only so many in the league, and we'll see how it goes. This is ironic because I was going to bring this. This is completely random, but I've got 11 facts you didn't know about Lake Tahoe, which ironically we just talked about because California and Nevada share Lake Tahoe. The state border goes right through it, and obviously you can gamble in Nevada, but you cannot there in California. Lake Tahoe is so deep, 1,645 feet, that if the lake were tipped over, its water would cover all of California with 14 inches of water. So a little over a foot of water if you dump that all into California. It's estimated that Lake Tahoe is 99.994% pure, making it one of the purest lakes in the world, purer than most bottled water. Due to its clarity, objects are visible up to 70 feet deep in the lake's clear waters. If all of Lake Tahoe's water were drained, it would take over 700 years to refill naturally due to its low inflow rate. At its longest, the lake measures 22 miles across, making it the largest alpine lake in North America by volume. The lake never freezes, even in the winter, because of its enormous volume and constant movement to regulate its temperature. Lake Tahoe was formed over 2 million years ago by geologically faulting and volcanic activity, making it one of the oldest lakes in North America. A NASA study revealed that Lake Tahoe loses about a foot of water each year to evaporation, more than the amount it receives from precipitation. So slowly Lake Tahoe is losing water over time. Tahoe has a small population of native Lohontan cutthroat trout, which were thought to be extinct in the lake for nearly a century until after their reintroduction in the recent years. There are still rumors of Tahoe Tessie, a Loch Ness-like creature that some believe lives in the lake's deep waters. That'd be cool. Lake Tahoe sits on the California-Nevada border with 2/3 of the lake in California and 1/3 in Nevada, making it a bi-state wonder with unique attractions on each side. I don't know why I just came across that. I was like, you know what? That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
I've been there. We've driven around the lake before, and it's a pretty cool spot.
I've never been to Lake Tahoe.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's very, very cold too all the time, but yeah, and there's really good golf courses out there as well. But yeah, we've actually I've got family that lives in the Nevada side, just down in the valley from the mountains, and we've even stayed at the was it a Hard? Yeah, the Hard Rock there at Lake Tahoe. It's a good time. Good time. All right. back to a sports one. The quarterback who never threw an interception in his Super Bowls that he played in. Joe Montana.
Watched a documentary on him the other night.
This may cover a little bit about what that documentary talked about. In 1975, Joe Montana had just finished his freshman year at Notre Dame. He was last on the depth chart. He said his coach said Joe was even behind 2 walk-ons. Montana knew the only way he was going to play was by proving it at practice. Joe said there was so much credence was put on how you practice, and how you practice is how you play. All the parents that coach or kids that have been coached, they know that one, that's for sure. Back then, he wasn't a great practice player, but he was going to compete and prove that he was. Joe said, I learned the protections and where everyone was supposed to be. I spent until Saturdays making sure I had all of the information ready. Slowly, things started to change for him. He practiced better. He played better. Joe played great in spring practice, showing flashes, but he was still the second-string quarterback. It was then when the legend of Joe Montana started. Against North Carolina, he got his first opportunity. The team was down 14-6 with 5:29 left in the game, and Coach Dan Devine was looking for a spark. Montana came in and led them to a 21-14 comeback win. Everyone was buzzing and excited to see him play more, but he didn't start the next game versus Air Force. The game versus Air Force was similar. Notre Dame started slow and was down 30-10 with 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the third quarter. Again, looking for a spark, Coach Dan Devine put Montana back in the game. And then he did it again. Montana led the team on 3 scoring drives to win the game 31-30 with another comeback win. He made fans believe, he made students believe, he made the team believe. He struggled with injuries the rest of the year and missed the 1976 season with a separated shoulder. He started the 1977 season as the third-string quarterback. In the third game of the year versus Purdue, he won the job and never looked back. In classic Joe Montana fashion, Notre Dame started slow and was behind 24-14 heading into the fourth quarter. They put Joe in the game, and they scored 17 unanswered points as he led them to a 31-24 comeback win. Notre Dame went on to an 11-1 season and a Cotton Bowl win over Texas, but that was indeed just the beginning for Joe Montana. So some takeaways from the story of college Joe Montana. 1, take advantage of your opportunities. There are always opportunities around you. You don't just have to see them and take advantage of them. You just have to see them and take advantage of them while they are there. Joe's first opportunities became because he worked hard, practiced hard, and was prepared. Then opportunities in the game came because he was there and ready for them. It highlights the importance of tenacity and determination in pursuing your goals, even when the odds are stacked against you. Takeaway number 2, grit is the ability to endure. Grit isn't talent or luck. It's the ability to have stamina and indeed endure. Montana's journey demonstrates the power of being able to endure. He endured being last on the depth chart and multiple injuries. When faced with adversity, he learned the power of perseverance and the ability to push through mentally and physically. Do not complain about not getting a chance and then be unprepared when you finally do. Quoting the famous Joe Montana. Just a little 1975 Joe Montana story.
It had nothing to do with his collegiate side of things. It was really just kind of his pro career, and then going to the Chiefs and everything, or at least when I tuned into the documentary.
Gotcha. There's a good one on Steve Young too.
Yeah. Well, it actually kind of played, bringing that in when he came from Tampa from the USFL, and then they brought him over there, and him kind of taking over because of the back injury, right? Back or neck injury, that Joe was dealing with, and he kind of just was never really the same. But you know how it is when you're an athlete, or really just anything that you do in your life, and you're not as capable as what you once were. It's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, that whole story of Steve Young talking about perseverance and waiting your turn. I mean, that was kind of the MO there for Steve Young when it came to finally getting on the football field. All right, a couple more from UPI.com, from our odd news site. Back from the 10th, yesterday, thousands of chopsticks spill onto California highway. I feel a pun coming. California Highway Patrol officers were left playing a giant game of pickup sticks when a truck spilled its load of chopsticks onto the highway. CHP's Hayward Station said on social media that officers responded to a report of a traffic hazard on Interstate 580 near the Redwood Road exit and arrived to find the sticky situation. Turns out someone turned onto the freeway and to a giant game of pickup sticks, the Post said. Unfortunately, this means a lot of local restaurants might be short on utensils tonight. Just replace them with the fork. You'll be fine. The California Highway Patrol said the spill should serve as a reminder to all highway travelers to make sure their loads are properly secured. A lot of chopsticks out there on the roadway. That is.
Wish we had a little orange chicken to go along with that. Actually, teriyaki chicken with some fried rice or lo mein. Sounds like lunch, baby.
There you go. There you go. A lot of places around here to get that kind of food.
Is there a place like how it used to be in the mall, though, to get teriyaki chicken?
No. And no one's walking around offering free samples on toothpicks either, so that's certainly disappointing. Apple Juggler takes 198 bites in 1 minute. That doesn't even sound possible.
No.
Serial Guinness World Record breaker David Rush, I believe we've talked about David before, took his juggling skills and his snacking prowess to the extreme by taking 198 bites out of 3 apples while juggling the fruits for 1 minute. Rush, who holds the most concurrent Guinness World Record titles, previously set the record for most bites taken out of 3 apples while juggling at 164 at the 2018 MIT Juggling Convention. He took aim at his own title during a visit to the Guinness Book of World Records headquarters in London. The rules are strict, so each bite has to be small, precise, and fast, he wrote online. There's no time to swallow, even though swallowing is allowed. So I had to spit out the bites while keeping the apples in motion, but only after my mouth couldn't hold any more to be to be efficient. Rush successfully broke the record with 198 bites. That is a rate of more than 3 bites per second.
Wow.
I don't even know how you eat. I couldn't even take 3 bites out of an apple per second.
No.
Let alone be juggling them. And, the video's right here, too, and it's a sight to behold. That's for sure. But, hey.
How many bites per second?
3.
No. Not a chance for me. I like to try to eat fast.
Yeah. Well, it's not good for your digestion to eat super fast, but there's a lot of fiber, though, with all the apples. Well,
I guess it just depends on how hungry I am, though,
It's true. It's true. And then was it like before you actually reach your hunger, it's like 10 minutes or something like that?
Right, and that's the thing, is I don't normally do that because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I got to get this done by this time, and then,
A lot of people.
This last Sunday, boy, I was eating all daggum day long.
It's kind of part of the tradition there with the Super Bowl is the food, the parties, all that wonderful stuff. Let's see, got a couple minutes left here. We can hit a couple more of these. Title of this one is "Wandering Monkey Blamed for Nationwide Power Outage in Sri Lanka." Officials in Sri Lanka said a monkey was at the wrong place at the wrong time and was to blame for a power blackout that affected the entire nation. Energy Minister Kumara Jayakody told reporters at a news conference that the outage was caused by a monkey that came into contact with a grid transformer at the Panadora power station located south of the capital, Colombo. The outage began at 11 a.m. local time on Sunday. The utility officials got to work restoring powers, with hospitals and water purification facilities being given top priority. The Ceylon Electricity Board issued an apology for the blackout Sunday. The blackout evoked memories of rolling blackouts that occurred during Sri Lanka's economic crisis back in 2022. Some senior engineers said they had been warning officials for years about the needs to upgrade the power infrastructure. These may be immediate solutions, but past governments have failed to act or upgrade the system. In fact, the national power grid is in such a weakened state that the frequent island-wide power outages may be expected if there is a disturbance in even just one of the lines. A source familiar with the county's utility system told Sri Lanka's Daily Mirror newspaper. I'm guessing that monkey did not make it. You get your caught in a transformer. It's probably not.
Nah, probably not. But maybe they had some fried monkey.
Yeah, there you go, with some teriyaki sauce. Don't go eating monkeys out there. It is not suggested. I guess I could hit 1 or 2 more here.
Well, did you watch any of the Luka or see any of the highlights from?
I saw the highlights. Yeah,
I mean they were playing the Jazz, so there wasn't really a whole lot to dive into.
Yeah.
But 14 points, I believe, in 23 minutes. A lot of excitement, kind of going into the game when they were, all gathered around as a team. LeBron, or I don't actually know who it was that was saying it, but it was like, Luka, we don't need you to fit in. We want you to fit the blank out.
Yeah.
Just keep on doing you. And I think that that's a good thing. Then also on the flip side, Anthony Davis, his first game back with the Mavericks on Sunday night, the evening of the Super Bowl, he gets injured. So it's like the Lakers look really good in this trade now. The Mavericks look even worse because I thought that this could have actually been better for the Mavericks, that they're getting in a defensive prowess guy, Anthony Davis, who's having really a heck of a year. And then he gets injured with the abductor strain, and now you've got Luka, who we'll see how the chemistry ends up working with him and LeBron.
I did see that one pass from him all the way down court to LeBron for an easy layup.
He is good on that, but the problem is once you get to the playoffs, you can have all that pretty finesse offense that you want,
but teams start playing defense.
Exactly. Well, they play defense. It's just they start playing lockdown defense, and it's a lot more hardcore in the playoffs compared to the regular season.
No doubt about it. When we get back, I'm going to ask you some 8 questions for the NFL offseason and get your opinion on those particular topics. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Tuesday's weather. The rest of the day, there will be a gentle breeze out of the south, some sun and 71. Mostly clouds tonight, about the same at 67. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and a moderate breeze right around 13 miles per hour with a high of 73. About the same at 71 Thursday, and we'll have a likelihood of thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus. Are payment processing fees eating into your profits? With Bay County POS, local businesses are saving time and money with secure, seamless merchant services. Reduce credit card processing fees and save up to 3.9% on gross sales. From quick, contactless payments to detailed sales reporting, it's Bay County POS. For a free consultation, call 850-359-3906. Bay County POS. Local service, global standards.
Join the best of Bay winning Inside Drive with all your lines, props, and covers.
Winning.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. And it continues tonight. Right after the Afternoon Underdogs will take you right from David Hayes and the Afternoon Underdogs right into the tip-off. That'll be 6 p.m. right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Auburn is traveling up there to Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Auburn is currently a 9.5-point favorite, but Vanderbilt's done some damage to a few teams this year. A couple upsets early in the season, and can't take that opponent lightly, especially on the road. The SEC is just a tough conference this year, and almost every team can beat another team any given night out there. And speaking of other teams that can do that, number 3 ranked Florida Gators will be traveling over to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Florida's 7-3 in the conference. Mississippi State 5-5. Mississippi State is ranked 22nd. Florida is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Florida obviously would like to come out of Starkville with another win and continue to kind of be up there in the SEC rankings as we get ever so closer to the SEC tournament. Next, you got another big top 25 matchup. Number 5, Tennessee, will be traveling to Lexington, not too far of a trip for them, to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Total in that one, 148.5, as I know Tennessee plays fantastic defense. I know they held Florida to only 44 points a couple weeks ago. So look for the Volunteers to play solid defense there on the road, and Kentucky obviously trying to have a nice quad 1 top 25 win at home. Number 7, Purdue is traveling to number 20, Michigan, as Michigan's had a good run in the Big Ten as they are 10-2. Purdue is 11-2, ranked 7th in the country. Michigan is a 2.5-point favorite at home. Some other top 25 matchups: Iowa State and UCF, Arizona traveling to Kansas State, DePaul traveling to Marquette, and Alabama trying to remain 9-1 and atop the SEC, tied with Auburn at number 2 in the country as they travel for the first time in SEC play to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns. Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite on the road. Georgia Bulldogs traveling to play number 8 ranked Texas A&M. You've also got Indiana traveling to play number 11th ranked Michigan State. Colorado traveling to take on number 17 Kansas. Colorado having a tough season in basketball. Kansas is a 17.5-point favorite in that one. UConn, the men's Huskies, going to be tough for them to go back to back to back. That three-peat just a lot harder than the back-to-back. Will be taking on the Creighton Blue Jays, number 24 ranked team in the country. 11-2 in the Big East. They're a 3.5-point favorite at home. David Hayes, did you know?
Yes, I did, and so did Mary.
Oh, good.
Mary, did you know?
Yes, she did know. This will be the first time in SEC history, well, they will be ranked 1 and 2 because the rankings don't come out until Sunday. This is the first time in SEC history that you'll have a number 1 team playing a number 2 team in conference play.
I did not know that. I would have, I guess that is not extremely surprising, but it's somewhat surprising just because of how good Kentucky and Tennessee have been, because they've kind of carried the SEC on their shoulders to a large extent. So it's going to be interesting that it's Alabama and Auburn, like the Iron Bowl, and they played twice.
Yeah, twice in the next 4 weeks.
Right, and the final game of the season could
that could determine the SEC regular season title.
Well, the regular season title, not just that, but who's going to get that number 1? Because if you have Alabama beat Auburn here in this game, then, and say they maintain their way through that final game could, play a large role in who ends up getting the number 1 overall seed. Not that really matters, because sometimes you can get that number 1 overall seed and end up having have tougher opponents in your bracket. But we'll see. Alabama made the Final Four last year. Auburn got dipped out in it was the first round, I believe, last year. You losing to like a 15 seed or something like that. And look, what have we seen? Purdue, they lost, and Kentucky, they lost to these higher seeds and then end up battling their way back. I think that this is a big year for Auburn. I wouldn't even say that Alabama's team is as talented as the team that they had last year, and the team that they had the year before that when they had Brandon Miller was even more so talented. But that's the thing about college basketball is you can have the stars, and the stars are important, but if you don't have the chemistry nor the cohesion to really work your way through that tournament, it's not going to work out for you well. And then also Florida been a dominant team this year. Tennessee Kentucky, Arkansas, could they sneak their way in via the SEC tournament, right? I
No
mean,
doubt.
and then Texas A&M is also another team. I mean,
So many in the conference.
There's so many of them. But also another conference, the Big 12, they're always kind of a sneaky conference. So as I'm just now starting to get into college basketball here, we've got a lot of things to look forward to. And one of the biggest things is what you just mentioned, bringing it all the way back full circle. Alabama, Auburn, 1-2, first time in SEC history. That's pretty daggum cool.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. That'll be again right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I believe tip-off is at 3 p.m. Coverage
2:30.
likely, half an hour before coverage starting at 2:30. So if you're not able to be behind the tube, you can listen to it right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. But that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be an exciting game and should be a war out there on the hardwood. All right, David, we are I was going to say approaching. We are in the NFL offseason. I will start. This isn't one of these 8 questions, but I did want to ask you this question, as it's certainly been a topic since the drumming there that the Eagles gave the Kansas City Chiefs. Is the GOAT conversation now slowed down a little bit with Patrick Mahomes, or what do you think about that?
Tom Brady win every Super Bowl that he was in?
No.
Heck no, this conversation is just getting heated up, and now I guess now it makes it for a little bit more of a conversation because there's so many variables that could end up happening. But the guy's in the Super Bowl every year. The guy's in the AFC Championship
every year is his career.
Every single year. This was a year where, they might not have had as good of a team as what they've had. They might not have been as good as what they've been, but they still got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Eagles were a much better team, and not only that, they put it all together in the biggest game of
They
the
ran
year.
through the playoffs like a buzzsaw.
Right. At the end of the day, no, the conversation for me hasn't slowed down. I think that it makes the conversation a little bit more interesting because now Patrick Mahomes isn't just going to run away with it. Tom Brady was probably up in the booth like, this isn't too bad for my legacy here.
No doubt, no doubt.
But no, I don't think that it's done at all. I think Patrick Mahomes is still a heck of a quarterback. Like his down year, it's just like Aaron Rodgers. His down year is a year that other quarterbacks would just be like, man, please let me get one of those in my career. Maybe I'll be able to make a little bit more money for my next contract. So no, not at all has the conversation slowed down. It's more interesting. And I'm not going to say because a guy got blown out in the Super Bowl that, it's over and done with.
And it just kind of slowed down a little bit. Like if he had won this Super Bowl, I feel like everybody's like, let's give him it. He's the greatest of all time. He's done
right.
what he's done.
And even had he won, I'm not putting him.
Yeah, because we're not quite apples to apples at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: GOAT is who you say is the GOAT is not who I say is the GOAT. We go to the NBA, right? And you've got LeBron for some people, Michael Jordan for some people. We can still go to the NFL, and people will use the fact that Joe Montana never threw an interception in the Super Bowl, and so therefore he's their GOAT. And that's the beautiful thing about the GOAT conversation is it's not what I say, it's not what Colin Cowherd says, it's not what Ryan Mulvey says or what Coach Hale says.
It's what James Hale says.
Well, exactly.
I mean, James Hale, Jay Henley. Whatever he says, that's the truth.
No doubt. And whoever the quarterback was for the Griffin Bears back in whatever year he graduated, that's got to be the GOAT.
I would think so. Or that golf team that he was on.
Yeah.
One or the other. All right, let's jump into some of these questions here. We'll start with number 1.
Oh, that wasn't...
No, that wasn't part of my... it was one I've been wanting to ask you about. It's been on my sheet the last 2 days. So.
I think it makes it all more interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously, if he would have won, it would have probably cemented it a little more, but,
I think that it makes the conversation more valid at that point to even be talking about it. But to me, I still think that there's elements of his career that we can put him up there. How early have we seen, or how many guys have we seen this early in their career be at this stage this many times?
Yeah, and Tom Brady had this huge gap between his first run and his second run.
Right.
Very, very similar to how Tiger had his first run in golf and then had his second run as well. But a lot more to come from old Patty Mahomes. I'm feeling that the future, as long as Andy Reid is continuing to coach and he continues to bolster up their offensive line a little bit. But all right, let's start with question number 1. Which contender will land Myles Garrett?
That one's tough. If I were to give you 3 names off the top of my head, it would be the Lions, the Chiefs, or the Eagles.
Yeah. Or the Bills.
I mean, yeah, they should go after him. I mean, anyone who was in the playoffs last year, if you're the Commanders, anyone who was in the playoffs, anyone who wants to be stronger up front defensively should go for him. I'll tell you a couple of names who won't get them. The Saints. The Saints and the Saints.
They can't afford them.
They can't afford them,
No,
right.
They can't afford anybody.
I don't, the Eagles, I mean, the Eagles really don't need them, but you bring in a guy like Myles Garrett, now all of a sudden, what you did to Patrick Mahomes might be light work compared to what you could do to him in the future.
That'd be terrifying.
The Bills are a team that could absolutely use him. But for me, I mean, the Chiefs are going to go after him. He wants to go to a contender, and so that's where it's going to lie. And if you're the Lions, you have to go with what happened to you this last year, and you have to beef up even more so where the depth is a huge priority for you this year. Not just the star players, but the depth behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of hoping that the Niners try to throw their name in the hat because if we had Bosa and Garrett on either side, that'd be kind of what we need to get after Mahomes.
Yeah, and the 49ers are a team, yes, they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't fit that initial criteria I said, but they're still a playoff-bound team provided that they keep everybody healthy. And they really just, man, how many teams did we see this year in the playoffs that had off-season issues with contracts? Look at the Bengals with Jamar Chase and with T. Higgins. What happened with them? Missed the playoffs.
Yep.
Look at the 49ers. When you have those issues, it does not bode well for you.
Nope, that locker room chemistry is so important. That's why I'm completely okay with Debo being traded because I just feel like he's just not what that locker room needs. And I think that Brock Purdy contract is coming soon here, pretty quick. And Brock's obviously proven himself in the playoffs when he's there. And his first 2 years in the league as a starter, once he became a starter, NFC Championship, and then the Super Bowl. Next question on the list: will the Rams really move on from Cooper Kupp? And will Matt Stafford go as well? They are actively looking to trade Kupp, who turns 32 in June. The former Super Bowl MVP's injuries have caught up with him. It is unlikely the Rams consider him worth $29.7 million and his particular cap hit right now. Kupp could be moved before his $7.5 million roster bonus, which comes up on March 19th. And then as for Matt Stafford, the Rams front office has refused to commit to him publicly as a starter in 2025, but he's only 37 years old, and he's still playing a very, very high level of football.
As a Titans fan, I mean, I would really like to see Matt Stafford come over there, get beat up a little bit more. He's a quarterback that's proven, the offensive line doesn't, whatever. Hey, we'll break our ribs and keep on playing.
He'll sling the rock.
I think if you're the Rams, it's tough because you made the playoffs. I don't think that you want to. I think that you would rather keep Matt Stafford and draft someone new to kind of be, the apparent heir. Cooper Kupp, I let him go.
Yeah.
I let him go. He's still valuable.
Yeah.
Now, is he under contract?
I believe he is I believe this is for being traded. So
Yes. So if he's under contract, then I trade him while I can still get some value out of him because I think that there is still teams who would take on a Cooper Kupp contract right now.
Yeah. That need a great pass catcher and route runner in their offense.
If you think that you got one more Super Bowl run in you go out there and you get Myles Garrett, who makes that defensive front even more so ferocious behind they'd be in front of Jared Verse and Braden Fisk.
Yeah.
And then you have Cooper Kupp, you got Puka Nacua, you still got Tyler Higbee. So it really comes down to what it comes down for every team: health.
Yep, that's it.
If you're not getting injured and you have a good squad, you'll be just fine.
That's the key. That's the key to the NFL is keeping your superstars healthy, which sometimes is not something you can do. How will the 49ers respond to many different things? It feels like a crucial offseason for the hosts of next year's Super Bowl as the Niners sport the 6th best odds of getting there per BetMGM. After their 6-11 disappointment, can returning defensive coordinator Robert Saleh recreate his 2019 magic? Is Christian McCaffrey's health going to be back?
Yes.
Can he stay healthy? Does quarterback Brock Purdy reset the quarterback market with his impending contract? I don't think he does. I don't know. McCaffrey, you think he's
I think McCaffrey is going to really be looking at retirement this offseason. I mean, we saw he was dealing with the bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Yeah. I think that, you know, again, it's so hard to take the cleats off and lay them down forever. But at some point, and we've seen how many, Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis, all of these guys who they just weren't able to continue to play. Andrew Luck being one of the biggest of those names. And I think that if you're CMC, not just the fact that you were dealing with that, but then you came back in 2-3 games and really light usage, and then you get hurt again. It's one of those things where he's proven what he needs to prove.
Yeah.
However, he's still missing that one thing. So would he come back just for that? The 49ers are an organization in the running back room where they have enough guys where they could keep the load
if
off
he'd be
of Christian
willing
McCaffrey.
and Shanahan would be willing to do that.
Right, exactly. So if they can, get that marriage figured out, if you will, then I would. Obviously, if you're the 49ers, you're going to hold on to Christian McCaffrey. With the Brock Purdy thing, I
don't think he's going to reset the market. I think
I don't think that he should reset the market. I don't think that he's a guy that resets the market. I think that he fits in perfectly with what the 49ers do. I think he's a good quarterback, yes, but would I be clamoring over, like, if the Tennessee Titans were like Brock Purdy or Matt Stafford, right? Brock Purdy, ceiling way higher than what Matt Stafford is, but the floor is a lot higher for Matt Stafford, and I'll take the floor when you're looking at, what are we looking for right now? But I do think that if you're the 49ers, you go to Brock Purdy and say, listen, you have these couple of options. You can do it how Patrick Mahomes did it, and you see the success that the Chiefs have gotten, or you can be like Daniel Jones, or you can be like one of these other, and they don't even have a job anymore right now. So
and look at Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he reset the market at the time, and it almost seemed to go the other way when he started playing after that. But yeah, all right. A couple. Maybe one more quick one here. The annual question we ask every year: where is Aaron Rodgers going to be playing football in 2025? If he's even.
Tell me what you think on that one.
I don't know. I just don't. I look at all 32 or 31 teams, because we'll take the Jets out of the mix, and a lot of those guys in the locker room are disappointed that he's moving on. But I don't know. He played decent this year. But again, coming off that Achilles injury, and he's got 1 year, so it's got to be a team that wants to move the needle right now. Is there enough teams out there that could benefit from Rodgers? I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I almost think that he may go on a little retreat and decide to maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to hang it up.
I don't think that he hangs it up because that's an embarrassing way to go out. Not necessarily statistically speaking, but the fact that the Jets weren't in position to even sniff the playoffs, really. I think that you look at the Raiders, like, is Tom Brady and Pete Carroll willing to go after him? If Devontae Adams wants to come back, then you bring that marriage back over there to the Raiders.
That, potentially
let's say that the Raiders, let's say Pete Carroll want to fix things up with Russell Wilson, and they go after Russell Wilson and bring him there to the Raiders. Do the Steelers think about dipping into the Aaron Rodgers pool at that point? How is the house on the property that Aaron Rodgers owns over there in Nashville going? Do the Tennessee Titans want to think about that? I would rather, again, Matt Stafford or Sam Darnold over Aaron Rodgers, but I do think that he'll get a job. I think the most hilarious thing would be is if Sam Darnold signs elsewhere and Aaron Rodgers ends up with the Minnesota Vikings, and we've got the deja vu all over again. History repeating itself. Aaron Rodgers, a Minnesota Viking in 2025, and Kevin O'Connell goes from looking like a genius to a buffoon.
I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I do think that the Vikings will let Sam go and try to get JJ moving into the mix. Obviously, Sam Darnold had a great season. Kind of, dipped down a little bit there at the end. Kind of had a tough loss to Detroit and then a tough loss in the playoffs as well. But Darnold, he's only 27, so he's got a lot of future in front of him. We got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, it'll be our final segment of this Tuesday. We're going to talk about a lot of the local sports stuff going on, middle school and high school. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know the traditional, when you win a big game, you take the toilet paper and you roll the trees. There's a place they do it.
Yeah, and so Toomer's Corner, this little wrap around it, the extra thing of toilet paper, and it said Toomer's Corner on it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I use that for?
To roll
to go to the bathroom.
Weekday Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Bringing the world's #1 auto brand is a lot of fun. Camrys and Tacomas, Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders. Toyotas are just built to be better.
And that's exactly how we built Panama City Toyota, to give you a better experience.
Where your needs always come first. Where you can relax with a great cup of coffee or browse the Heritage Collection. Or we help you add the perfect vehicle to your collection. Come see us today at Panama City Toyota.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. This is not for the casual fan. This is for the warriors. This is for the legends.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The Women's Lacrosse League debuts tonight, according to the TV I'm looking at, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN+. The Maryland Charm versus the New York Charging. The New York Charging what? Question mark.
Charging too much money to live there?
No doubt. No doubt about that. But yes, the inaugural WLL Championship Series gets going underway. Pretty cool stuff. Didn't even know that was transpiring. So, but that was not what I was going to be talking about. I will start with the TGL gets going again. They must have a, today is what, the 11th? Yeah, they must have a bye week this week. Because
the whole league has a bye week.
I guess, because looking at the schedule, the next match isn't coming up until Monday, February 17th. Man, they got 3. Okay, so the playoffs must be getting going, or I don't know. If Jay was here, he could explain it. I don't know how it all works, but yeah, currently the Los Angeles Golf Club is 2-0. I don't know how many more.
So they'd play 2 matches and say, all right, playoffs.
I guess.
It's a participation trophy league, and this is why LIV is just going to take care of business and smash the PGA Tour.
Let's hope so.
I'd rather just them join.
Yeah, no, hopefully that'll happen sometime this year. But yeah, there is no TGL on tonight, but it really gets going. Let's see, semifinals. No. That's I guess they're just doing more than one a night starting on next Tuesday. Yeah, so next Tuesday you got 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so 12 p.m. So it'll be going live during their show. And you got a match at 12, a match at 3, and a match at 6, all next Monday. And then you've got
what is next Monday, like a holiday or something?
It is President's Day. Yep, it is indeed. And then they do have a Tuesday match at 6 p.m., and then they have 2 the following Monday, and then 1 on Tuesday. So it sounds like they're cramming a lot more into a short period of time.
Yeah, because we're actually getting into golf season now, and these golfers are like, dude, I'm going to be doing this on Monday and Tuesday. I have to be getting to a golf course and be prepared for that golf course by Wednesday, because on Thursday I've got a tee time of 11 a.m.
Yep.
So you want me to play virtual golf or real golf?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of these guys will get there on Monday or Tuesdays as well and play at least an 18-hole practice round and maybe another 9-hole and just hit some balls.
Could you imagine this being like around Masters time? And it's like, yeah, we need y'all here Tuesday night. No.
They're like, no. And it looks like the finals end up on March 24th, 25th, and a third match on the 25th,
so like right
if
before
necessary.
So it's like right before the Masters.
A couple weeks before the Masters gets going. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's no TGL match on tonight. But luckily, if you're looking to watch some virtual golf on your potential day off next Monday, you could watch 3 matches.
Or you could just go to YouTube and type in virtual golf or go play some.
Yeah.
Go rent the simulator over there at Golf Plus for $75.
I saw he's got a new mobile repair van.
Yep, because they had to repair the window there, so they just got. They've been working on that, got it all wrapped up, and
good.
Great stuff, man.
They look good, yeah. I mean, that's a great idea too. You know, come to people's houses, get their stuff fixed up, or have mobile events places. Kudos to Alan for. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Cutting edge technology.
No doubt.
Golf Plus.
No doubt. And you got to have the right equipment, man. When you're doing club repair, I mean, grips are one thing; they're not very hard. But once you start talking about changing lie and loft angles, changing shafts, stuff like that, you got to have people know what they're doing because it's really easy to screw that stuff up very, very quickly.
1 degree makes a difference.
That's it. That is literally it. And, also, too, if you got clubs and something seems off, get your clubs checked, too. Alan can do that. Any of his guys there at Golf Plus can check your lies and your lofts because they change over time. It's just like anything. You hit enough shots, maybe that lie angle now is going a little flat or a little upright. You don't realize it, and all of a sudden now you're starting to hit the ball a little crooked. And same thing with your lofts. So, it's, I'm sure, a service that Golf Plus offers is just getting your lies and lofts checked. All right, let's talk about some middle school sports. Chris Fall from Southern Elite Sports will be with us tomorrow to get us updated on the standings, players of the week, all that wonderful stuff. I did hear, though, that the players of the week are going to be receiving Dave & Buster's Power Cards.
There you go.
As they're winning there. I believe they had or I think they opened today, maybe, after some renovations over there. They've been doing adding a bunch
they've
of
been closed?
Yeah, they've been, I don't think they've been closed, but they've created this whole new section over there, and it's getting ready to open up. But looking forward to having Chris on and talking about all these youngsters. But on the
basketball side of things?
On the basketball side of things, yes, thank you. And Jay would just sit there and look at me like, why are you coughing?
Yeah. Hey, do I need to come help you over there?
Yeah, exactly. Coming up tonight, Bayhaven Charter Academy traveling to Bozeman. Then you've got Surfside traveling to North Bayhaven, Rutherford traveling to Merritt Brown, Breakfast Point Academy traveling to Jinx. Jinx trying to remain undefeated on the young season. And then you've got University Academy traveling just up 390 to Mowat. And then on the girls' soccer side of things, some big-time games coming up this afternoon. We'll start with Breakfast Point traveling to Jinx, Rutherford traveling to Merritt Brown, Tyndall Academy traveling to Mowat, University Academy traveling to North Bayhaven, trying to stay undefeated on the season, and North Bayhaven, I'll get to it in a second, is also hosting a girls' state playoff game as well right after that. So be a lot of action on the soccer field over there at North Bayhaven. And then last but not least, Surfside will be traveling to Palm Bay with Bayhaven Charter Academy having a bye on the girls' soccer this Tuesday. Speaking of the high school action, I do know trying to figure out if it's going to be televised or not, but I've mentioned it. I'll mention it again. If you're making the trip over, keep us posted. Arnold will be traveling over there to Washington, Pensacola, to Booker T, Washington, to be trying to earn themselves another trip down there to the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex in the state Final Four. So winner of that Booker T, Washington, Arnold regional final in the Class 5A Region 1 championship game will take place tomorrow at 7 p.m. over there in Pensacola.
I would imagine it would be on that NFHS
I don't think
network.
it is.
Really?
It's because both teams, when Coach Hammond has told us about it before, they don't like to have their games being televised, for lack of a better word, because then people can see their film and all that stuff. So,
that's sports.
I guess.
I mean, all it takes is for someone to come to the
and film it. Yeah.
game.
Yeah. I was hoping it would be, but I think I was talking to Ian earlier about that, and I don't think it's going to be televised. So I'm going to reach out to Coach Hammond and see if somebody's televising it.
That is
because a lot of us here in PCB would like to see that game,
well, yeah,
but not have to make the trip over there.
Right, and I'm sure there's parents who gotta be working and stuff, and they would love to be able to watch their kids playing the game. And so I would say that it's more. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority about this, but I would think that it's more important for the parents who can't make it to the game be able to watch their kids than, the sports
The game within the game.
The game within the game, right? Because at the end of the day, like, even if they know what you're going to do, you have to execute what it is that you're going to do.
Yep, that's what the kids always say in Flag Football. They're like, what if they know our play? You can know the play, but you can still, there's 6 options out there. So,
exactly.
And
So
soccer's a
make the
little
best
different,
decision.
set pieces and stuff like that. You can kind of see trends and whatnot, but I'll find out. If anybody knows where it's televised or something like that, please let us know. We'll get that word out there. Moving on to the 3A state tournament on the boys side of things. You've got a game coming up tonight. North Bay Haven in action tonight, both on the boys and girls side of soccer. The boys team will be traveling to Florida State University High School for a 7 p.m. kickoff there as the number 6 seed North Bay Haven Bucks take on the Seminoles over there in Tallahassee. They will await, the winner of that game will await the winner of South Walton and Keystone Heights. That'll take you to the regional semifinals. These are regional quarterfinal games. And as I mentioned, the number 4 seed in the Region 1 3A state tournament is the Lady Bucks from North Bay Haven. They'll be taking on Fernandina Beach. That'll be at 6 p.m. right there at North Bay Haven. So University Academy, North Bay Haven, and middle school soccer at 4, followed by North Bay Haven and Fernanda Beach with a trip to the regional semifinal on the line. The winner of that game will take on the winner of Pensacola Catholic and Santa Fe. You've also got some other teams. South Walton will be taking on Florida State University High School, Bowles and Wolfson in the other side of the Region 1 bracket in the Class 3A state tournament. All right, moving on to the rural class. I don't know if it's tonight. I think it's tomorrow night. We have Port St. Joe in basketball on the boys side of things. That gets going tomorrow. All those region semifinal games get going. We'll keep you updated on that. And then also on the 3A girls basketball side of things, I believe that's also tomorrow night as well as Rutherford. No, actually Thursday night. Rutherford will be hosting Bradford right there at the gym at Rutherford. So still got a lot of opportunities to get out there and support a lot of these local athletes as they continue to transpire through the state championship. I know there's a lot of, I believe, wrestlers, maybe weightlifters from North Bay Haven that'll be making trips to the States as well. Yeah, I'm going to try to learn a little bit more about that, dig into a little more information so we can keep you posted on that.
Yeah, North Bay Haven's actually going to be starting a boys volleyball team.
Oh, I think Beth told me about that. That's pretty awesome. Because that's one thing that you just, unless you're in, California, Midwest, you just don't have a lot of boys volleyball.
Yeah.
And, there's AAU and stuff like that, but that'll be cool. That'll be cool. A lot of newer sports coming. Girls flag football. Hopefully Bay County will adopt that sometime soon. They did just adopt girls beach volleyball. I know Arnold, Bay, and Mosley, I think, will all have teams in that one as well. So, and obviously the flag football, hopefully will get adopted sometime soon. But, cool to see. I wonder who they'll be playing. I guess teams from outside
I don't know. They're going to be, it's kind of like the same way with beach volleyball. You can only play so many teams because they'd have to have teams. So.
Yep, and I know Arnold's making a court, Bay's making a court, Mosley's making a court. Luckily with beach volleyball, you don't need that much area. Yeah. And a couple truckloads of some nice beach sand in here.
We got some of that around this way.
Absolutely. Dredge it right out of the ocean. Have lots of seashells in it. Just remind everybody coming up tonight, lots of big-time basketball games, but one right here on ESPN Northwest Florida as we're your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. Auburn will be traveling, or probably already traveled, to Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. That'll start right after the afternoon underdogs. Tip off at 6 p.m. Looking forward to hopefully Auburn getting the dub in that one, and then Alabama getting the dub against Texas, and that'll set the teams up for that big-time matchup coming up this weekend. Right here again on ESPN Northwest Florida. Texas tonight. Better. Who do you think? I think both teams win. I think both teams. You think one team's more?
Who's Texas got?
Alabama. And then Auburn's got Vandy.
I hope both teams win heading into this weekend's matchup.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, Texas could give Alabama a run for their money, no doubt about that. And Vanderbilt.
I think Vandy can give Auburn
a little bit more.
Yeah, just given seeing how.
But the reason why I don't think so is because Auburn's now got that chip renewed on their shoulder. And so I think that they will take care of business handedly tonight against Vanderbilt. And I think Alabama will survive Texas.
I mean, that's sometimes where, you lose a game in the season that you're expected to win. Sometimes I can kind of reset you and get you refocused, and sometimes is more important than winning big-time games. You guys have been listening to The Inside Drive. Afternoon Underdogs coming up. Auburn, Vanderbilt right after them at 6 p.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
ESPN Northwest Florida Hall & Hearts Magic Express.
Hey, Sean, you just won the Hall & Hearts Magic Express to see the Orlando Magic play at the Kia Center.